Man, Dead by Daylight is almost 7 years old. And within that almost 7 year time period, absolutely nothing has changed, except for a lot of reworks, buffs, and nerfs. That's pretty much it. Dead by Daylight has literally been the same game, the same concept since its release all the way back in 2016. That is absolutely crazy. Dead by Daylight is the only game I have seen that could somehow still remain popular without changing a single thing about its actual gameplay. Like, honestly, the only variety this game has is with the killer side, because obviously every killer has their own power. You've got stealth killers like Michael Myers and Ghostface and Wraith, you've got more aggressive killers like Freddy and Leatherface, and you've got more tactile killers like Hag. But other than that, the problem, in my opinion, with Dead by Daylight is the fact that this game has literally been almost the same thing. Barely anything has changed. The gameplay hasn't changed. The objective hasn't changed. How long have we been just doing generators? Just fixing generators and getting hooked. Doing gens all day, getting looped all night, and getting hooked by daylight. Like, seriously, that's all this game is. Just getting hooked and doing gens, getting hooked doing gens, getting looped, dropping pallets, breaking pallets. Like, how long could it go on? Like, this game is severely lacking with variety. And I feel like this is probably what will inevitably kill the game, because eventually people are going to get bored. Okay, I've seen and I have even talked to people who were addicted to this game, but now have stopped playing it, or just don't play it as much because of how bored they're getting. I don't even know how Otsdarva and True Talent play this game. Like, I honestly don't understand how. I mean, it's probably because it makes them so much money on their platforms, but still. Dead by Daylight could be such a better game if we can just actually get some more variety. Because, like I said earlier, the only variety this game has is when you play as killer. Because when you play as different killers in the game, it definitely does spice it up a little bit. Because each killer does have their own power, and some killers also require more skill or a different playstyle than other killers. So that's definitely a good part of the game. But I mean everything else. A perfect example of this is, of course, the survivor side of the game. Playing Survivor is lacking heavily in variety. The fact that there is only one playstyle in this game to keep you alive as Survivor is pretty damn stupid. Because there is no other way to play Survivor except for looping, okay? This is the only effective way to play Survivor is looping. There is no other effective playstyle when playing as Survivor. That proves that there is not enough variety with the Survivor side of the game, because if you have a lack of playstyle, then that's obviously a huge problem, because not everyone wants to just loop the killer. It's bad game design, and I feel like this in general is the biggest problem with the game. The game design of Dead by Daylight is really, really bad. It may not be terrible, but it has a very large amount of flaws to it. Now, like I said earlier, when you play Survivor, the only effective way to actually play Survivor is, of course, to learn how to loop and to learn how to run the killer. This, to me, is a problem because not everyone wants to play the game like this. And I want to play Survivor in this game, but I don't like looping, okay? I am someone who used to play Friday the 13th game, and if anyone even remembers that game, you could fight back against the killer, okay? You could knock Jason right on his ass. And not only that, but I'm not very good at looping as well. And although looping the killer is fun, it gets bored after a while. You know, you're gonna get bored after a while. I mean, some could argue that, playing against different killers offers a new experience, and while that may definitely be true, even then, it still sucks how there's only one effective way to play the game. I wish they would add some more options in terms of gameplay for Survivor, because looping the killer is fun. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not fun. Like, when you're being chased by the killer, it's probably the best part of the game. because it's both intense and heart pounding, just like an actual survival horror game is supposed to be. And it just makes it all the more better when you go up against certain killers that have different powers that are more harder to go against or more challenging or more scarier. Like when you go up against a no heartbeat Myers or no tear radius Myers, whatever you call it, or Doctor or someone like that, or a trap where you actually have to disable traps, or of course my favorite, Sadaku. This all adds a lot of variety with the game, but it's kind of boring how the only thing you could do is run and just loop the killer. It would be really, really nice if Behavior would just add in some new gameplay modes or something, or at least add something else for Survivor to do. Like, if you're not gonna actually give survivors a different playstyle, like either fighting back against the killer or I don't know, just something else, the least they could do is give us different objectives. I've been saying this for the longest time now. Dead by Daylight needs more objectives. Okay, doing generators is simply getting too boring. Doing generators was never fun. I would say it was even worse in the beginning. Like when the when the game first came out, even then, like I didn't play Dead by Daylight in 2016, but I saw a lot of gameplay videos of it. Even then, when I was looking at the Survivor gameplay, I was like, "This is all you do? Like this is all you do? This is the only objective of the game? You just do generators?" Like it just gets so boring. But back to the looping part. Running the killer and looping the killer is fun. And it also does require a lot of skill. And when you're effectively looping the killer and you actually feel like you are effectively surviving the game and you're actually breaking the killer's legs and like getting the killer mad, it's fun. It's definitely fun, but first of all, people like me are not good at looping, and not only that, but I don't like running from the killer, especially if it's a killer like Legion or Ghostface or Trapper or Trickster. Like, those killers, you should be able to fight back against those killers. Besides just dropping pallets, okay? Dropping pallets and flashlighting a killer, that is not combat. Okay, that is not combat. It should be more like Friday the 13th where you could pick up a branch or a shovel or something and be able to just whack the killer with it. I even had my own idea where you could find guns throughout the trials. And obviously these guns would stun the killer, but unlike a pallet, it would stun the killer for much longer. Like the duration for how long the killer would be stunned, it would be much longer. Now, obviously, you would not be able to find these guns in a blood web. You'd have to find them hidden throughout the map, but it would definitely add in some variety. Because I feel like this is the problem with the game, because there's just not enough variety. The only other type of variety you have is when you're using certain perks. Perks kind of enhance the gameplay a little bit, but not all that much, alright? There's no perk in the game that's gonna let you punch the killer or kick the killer in the balls or find a gun and shoot the killer in the face. So no perks are gonna do that. And it's even more confusing when you've got people like Leon Kennedy or Ash Williams or Bill Overbeck. And we've even got a lot of buff survivors in this game. Like there are some survivors in this game that could look that they look like they could kick the killer's ass if they could, but they can't because you can't fight back. And not only that, but back to the objective part, just one objective, just doing generators. How long have we been doing generators? I said this in my previous Dead by Daylight rant videos, but like all jokes aside, how long have we been doing generators in Dead by Daylight? How long has that been the main objective? Just do generators. How do any of the characters in this game just randomly know how to repair a broken generator? It doesn't make any sense. But that's besides the point, okay? Video game logic doesn't need to make sense. It's not the logic, it's the design. It's the game design that is the problem with Dead by Daylight. There needs to be some variety. Add a new mode at least. Like, add in some kind of new mode. I'm not going to share any of my ideas here because obviously I don't want them to get stolen or copied. I have a lot of ideas for my own asymmetrical survival horror game, but so does Behavior. I know there are employees at Behavior that probably have plenty of good ideas, but either Matthew Cote or someone else is not letting them do it. Or maybe it's the game's community, because obviously Dead by Daylight's community is so toxic you have to wear a fucking gas mask just to actually interact with it. I mean, why would you even want to interact with it, okay? This game's community is the same community that mocked someone's mother of dying just because they didn't like how that person was playing. So obviously fuck this game's community. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've made a lot of Dead by Daylight videos on this channel, and honestly, I still love this game. Like, as much as I despise this game at times, I still love it because I've had way too many fun memories. I've met way too many of my good friends, and I've had so much fun that even my ADHD brain can experience from this game. I can't bring myself to hate it because deep down in my heart, as much as I do despise it, I still love it. I wouldn't be making these videos if I didn't care for Dead by Daylight. I am making this video because I am worried about the future of Dead by Daylight. Behavior cannot rely on paid DLCs and licensed characters for this game. That is not enough to keep this game alive. Even though it's already been doing it for 7 years, eventually people are going to get bored of all of the cosmetics and all of the paid DLC. Make the game better. Add some variety. Do something. The game is almost 7 years old, for Christ's sake. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know, what do you think about Dead by Daylight? How could behavior improve or maybe add some more variety? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. And yeah, take care, y'all, and happy holidays.